Alijah Arenas is a grown man and can make grown man decisions. Stay at USC, trust me. ESPN tries to sell Laker fans the false hope that is DeAndre Ayton, and Darius Garland takes baby steps on busted feet to return to the Clippers. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is February 27, 2026. Welcome back to Ice Station Alpha in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Do you like being in the know about LA sports? Well, if you do, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. Now, it was a tough night for the Angelenos last night. One that I really have to extrapolate on. By the way, Phoenix edged the Lakers 113-110. Luka Doncic scored 41 points. Mini Scrotum 94, Clippers 88. No Kawhi Leonard, no chance. Derek Jones scored 18. And then there was the abomination at Crypto.com Arena. Edmonton 8, Kings 1. So I went a Googling late last night after the game to find out if Jim Hiller got fired. Why wouldn't I? In the last 4 periods, the Kings have allowed 13 goals. This is a team that just got off the Olympic break and had all the time in the world to try to correct things, to right the ship, to make a playoff push, and they allow 13 goals in 4 periods. But I didn't see anything about Hiller getting fired. Nope. What I did see was a story about how the Kings were not going to change their defensive mindset. What defensive mindset? Show me that you have a defensive mindset, then we can talk about changing it. You guys allowed 13 goals in the last 4 periods. I know what a defensive mindset looks like. That is like an iceberg-sized hole in the good ship Jim Hiller. That boy be a sinking right now. By the way, there are no games involving LA teams tonight. It's probably for the best. Feel free to go chase women or something. Let's get to the news. And give me some space with this, because I'm sure you all rose from your bed this morning thinking, I can't wait for a deep dive into the philosophy of French novelist Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Karr. This was the guy who coined the phrase, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Basically, it's like when your stoner friend puts down the pipe and says, life is like cyclical, brah. It's all the same. It just comes back. This is true for USC basketball. Bronny James wouldn't listen to anybody back in the day. He just had to be one and done, right? Never mind that he had a bad ticker. Never mind that he played in only 25 college games, only starting in 6, and averaged fewer than 5 points per game. Everybody who wasn't on LeBron James's payroll was screaming, this is a bad idea. Stupid even. Maybe Bronny has a couple of NBA level talents, but they need to be developed first in college. But everybody who was on Team LeBron was telling us, nah, this is just a humble, hard-working kid who's going to shock the world. This is the same hype mob, of course, that surrounded Shedeur Sanders, forming a protective shell to shield him from any fire. Must protect the precious. Well, at least Sanders, to his credit, won a couple of football games with the Cleveland Browns. Definitely get credit for that. Meanwhile, we have no idea what the hell's going to happen with Bronny James if and when his dad decides to leave LA. Odds are with Bronny James, we are looking at a career G League player. And I bring this up, the cautionary tale of Bronny James, because it's just 2 years later. 2 years. And USC basketball is facing the same story with Alijah Arenas. Look at the eerie parallels, and you tell me that this is not living in a simulation. Like Morpheus isn't offering us the red and the blue pill. Arenas, also the son of a former NBA great, is apparently hearing from people to be one and done. Now, Arenas hasn't said anything, neither has his father. Never mind, though, that Alijah Arenas has only played 10 college games. Never mind that Alijah Arenas was in a medically induced coma in the summer and then followed that one up by jacking up his knee. Now, to be fair, I think it's clear that Arenas has more capability than Bronny James. Arenas scored more than 20 points in 3 consecutive games. But if you're sitting there going, why did USC all of a sudden fall out of tournament contention? Why are they on the bubble, and why does it feel like that bubble's already burst? Well, one reason is Arenas has lost his scoring touch. He's 1 for his last 10 from three-point range. Now, this is not to blame Arenas for USC likely missing the NCAA tournament. This is to say, asking a freshman coming off of multiple lengthy hospital stays to become the second option of your offense behind Chad Baker-Mazara is way too much to ask. This is also to say, stay at USC, lest you find yourself in G League purgatory, despite your famous last name. Take the red pill, my dude. The Matrix is a system. That system is our enemy, Neo. Take the red pill. If you're a USC fan, let me know what you think in the comments thread. The Lakers knew who they were getting when they signed DeAndre Ayton. This is a guy who has Domin Ayton tattooed across his back. And when people see that tattoo, they start giggling behind his back. Because if there's one thing he is not known for, it's dominating. ESPN yesterday published this super long article about the former #1 overall pick who is now on his third team. Why would they do this? Well, it's easy. The Lakers draw clicks. They weren't going to write this lengthy expose on DeAndre Ayton when he was still in Portland or Phoenix. So in writing this expose on Domin Ayton, we learned nothing. He had a terrific performance in the loss to Orlando, scored 21, grabbed 13 boards. And this was against one of the best front courts in the NBA. But it was his first 20-10 game in about a month. So the scribes asked him post-game about it, and the replies showed you how Ayton can go from mild-mannered Walter White to Heisenberg before the first hit of blue meth. Here's the good part of the quote. Quote, "The ball finds energy. They believe in me when I'm down there and sealing, and they see me running hard to the rim and crashing. They reward me," unquote. But then, I don't know, Skylar entered the room, and then Ayton glared at her and said, "I am the one who knocks." Actually, that's not accurate. What Ayton said, for no discernible reason, quote, "They're trying to make me Clint Capella. I'm not no Clint Capella," I don't even know if there was a segue. I don't know if a reporter asked him a question about Clint Capella. Why didn't he just yell, "I am the man who killed Gus Fring"? To suggest Ayton is enigmatic is something we already knew. To suggest he'll have an amazing game and then follow it up with 6 or 7 mediocre ones, we already knew. His teammates agree. It could be Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart. Ayton is an X factor. But here's something that Ayton is slow to get. He's on a roster with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Reeves. He can talk about being the #1 pick overall all night. But when you're on a team with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, you are Clint Capella. Nobody's falling for this ESPN narrative. Dominating, by the way, set this whole idea of reclaiming his career by coming to the Lakers, scoring a career low in points per game, a career low in minutes per game, and rebounds per game. I was working in Portland when Ayton signed with the Lakers. My coworkers pointed at me and laughed. You know what I did? I took the L. I knew exactly what the hell this meant. The reviews, ESPN is going to try to push DeAndre Ayton on you. Here's what a scout said, quote, "As a first pick, he's mostly underachieved. He picks and chooses when he wants to lock in and play, which is not what most dominant centers do," unquote. Then they got a source from the Lakers, quote, "When he's at his best, and we've seen glimpses of it, he's playing with force, he has to be a dirt worker," unquote. In other words, he has to be Clint Capella. What this article from ESPN doesn't admit is that the scribe could have copied and pasted every word about DeAndre Ayton from articles in the Portland Oregonian or the Arizona Republic. They knew. Ayton has been supplied the answers to the test. If he doesn't want to be looked at as Clint Capella, he has to work harder than Clint Capella. It's all basketball today. Darius Garland, the primary return to the Clippers in the James Harden to Cleveland trade, he's going to play one more scrimmage before the Clippers make a determination as to when he and his busted feet can finally debut. Ty Lue said he was overjoyed, almost to the point of singing in a musical, that much joy, over what he saw from Garland in a 5-on-5 scrimmage Tuesday. Garland had been sidelined since mid-January with a sprain in his big right toe. The hang-up is he still hasn't recovered to surgery to his left foot. The Clippers sent a former MVP in Harden to Cleveland in order to get a significantly younger guard who can run the pick and roll and score. Well, I should say walk the pick and roll, because this guy ain't running. Garland said at the time of the deal he was ready to hoop. We've only seen him in street clothes. It's very odd. I'm not saying the Clippers lost this trade, but they are going to be walking a tightrope using a guy who may need prosthetic feet before he's 30. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about USC basketball, and if you actually think Alijah Arenas should be one and done. For that matter, am I wrong about DeAndre Ayton? Do you think, because he's better than Jackson Hayes, that he could actually be a difference maker? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.